Hello, my wonderful people of God. I greet you all in the name of God and I bring you all good tidings. Now, see this video here. This DPA, Queen May International USA lawyer, calling me international and USA together at the same time. It makes sense, makes sense, but now understand what they talk. This man, this video that he made here is long. Yeah, I always like to carry everything. I would have analyzed it, but I want you all to hear it from him because he's teaching women. Some men too that could get sense from this same video that is teaching. This man has gone deep down. Also, on this video, he talked about Mr. Emmanuel Obasi, that they will be taking his case after they have analyzed Mr. Obasi's case because of conflict of interest, right? Yeah, that is what lawyers do. Like, sometimes they go say, maybe this person can testify, or may come be a witness in the court in the case that's already existing, pre-existing case. But because the parties involved are also involved in the existing or pre-existing case, so it now becomes a conflict of interest. So that's why you have conflict of interest in businesses, you have conflict of interest in maybe in immigration, sometimes you have conflict of interest in courthouses, you have conflict of interest in legal cases. Sometimes they go say make wife come testify, it will become a conflict of interest. I totally understand where it's coming from. I'm not a lawyer, but I understand this, the way he explained this. He also talked about women that are not working because their husband told them to sit down in the house and not work, or because the husband will, or they are working, they are making their money, the husband will be telling them to use their money to feed while the husband is busy buying properties, and their name is not included in those other properties. The man, this is education. I always call this man teaching, or his legal broadcast, as education for everybody, both the men and the women to learn from. This is not biased against anybody. This is for everybody to learn from, to amend, to adjust, to build your home, to bring your home together, to live together as one happy family. Because some people just do these things ignorantly without them knowing that they are hurting their partner. Yes, my people. Let you all listen before it becomes too long. Anyway, listen to him, okay? And please don't keep this video to yourselves. Share it. Share it, and please share it to your group, to your pages, to whatever. And please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you. God bless you all. Bye-bye.
Nigeria. And I have used the opportunity of this trip to meet our members. Some of you are still planning to meet with me today, and this will continue tomorrow and Thursday and Friday. So wherever you are in the East, all the way to Asaba, you can contact our office, request a meeting, you will be scheduled, and then we will know exactly when I will be in your own city, okay? Because I'm moving from one part of the East to the other. I enjoy the opportunity of meeting our members and of me listening to them, hearing their cases, and making suggestions to them, and exploring ways to be of help with them. At the same time, I stop now and then to make posts and enlighten our members on various issues of law, especially issues of family law. And in that context, I will occasionally have live sessions, and I'll choose topics based on experience, based on what has been recurrent in my meetings. That is, issues people raise, problems people bring to me, and I discuss these issues with them personally, sometimes alone, sometimes in a team of our professionals and our lawyers, because when I come to each city, I work with the DPA lawyers in that city. And when I hold meetings with some of our members, these meetings are held in the presence of the lawyers, because I want the lawyers, the lawyer in that city, the DPA lawyer in that city to listen to the discussion and understand the course of action that will be taken, so that when I leave the city, BPA will have a clear plan of what to do, and those things will be done. So it's been a very successful experience so far, all right? But I did make 2 posts in the past day or so, I believe, yeah. I made a post concerning this ongoing problem with Mr. Emmanuel Obasi. I haven't taken a position. I know it is being said that DPA is representing him. I haven't yet taken a position. As you know, there are things we need to evaluate before we take on a case. We check many things. We ask, are there factors that might disqualify us from playing certain role in a case? And if there are such factors, how can we mitigate against them? So cases that are complex, such as Obasi's case, need such a meticulous thinking. It would be wrong anyway for anybody to jump into it. I have read somewhere where people are pledged, I want to help him, I will defend him, but how are you going to do that? You need to understand the complexities of it. You need to understand, and by the way, if you're not a lawyer or you're not experienced in the law, you might not really understand the dynamics in that case. There has been a period of 10 years during which Mr. Obasi has not seen his children. So there is what we call alienation. There has been a successful alienation. Alienation is when you separate children from a parent. And if you do it for a long time, I believe this is my next meeting, but okay. Hello? Are you at the venue for the meeting? Yes. Just talk to them. They will give you a chair. They will line you up, and you will be invited for a meeting soon. Okay? But be settled. And talk to the front desk, because when you call the phone here, you might interrupt. You talk to the front desk, they will tell you to wait for me. Okay? Because if you call me directly, you will interrupt a meeting that is going ahead of yours. Okay? The people downstairs have clear instructions on what you should do. Okay? Thank you very much, and welcome to the meeting. Sorry about that. Yes, as I indicated, I'm scheduled for meetings and members are coming in. I am, I'm making this broadcast in the presence of a member who is here. And after that, I will take on the next person. These meetings will continue for much of the day. So, back to the case of Obasi. There is what we call in law alienation, family law, alienation of parental access. So when you have successfully separated the children from a parent, you have put the children in a state of mind of existing without that parent. So there is a breaking of bond. The bonding that naturally ties a parent to a child has been significantly broken. So the child needs a course of orientation. Usually in America or in advanced countries, there will be a counseling period so that the child will be gradually restored. That bond, parental-child bond, will be gradually restored. You can't restore it suddenly. It is a shock to the child because this child for 10 years has not seen this parent. And for 10 years, the child was probably brainwashed. The child was told that her father is evil, that her father is an enemy. So the child, after a while, begins to accept this notion. So there is some level of gaslighting and brainwashing done to this child. So the child is damaged psychologically. You cure it by waking up one morning and taking the child and say, okay, hey, this is your daddy. Go and have fun. She won't have fun. So, experienced counselors and child psychologists will need to sit down with these children and begin to reorient them and reorientate them and begin to recycle them back, because they have been psyched out. They have been psyched to a particular state of mind towards their father. We had a similar case like this in Asaba. The man took the children, denied their mother access, and began to tell the children that their mother was a prostitute, that their mother wanted to kill him, that their mother was a witch, that their mother's mother were witch, so these children for a sustained period of time were brainwashed so badly that when DPA intervened and forced the man to bring the children to the station, they refused to greet their mother. The 15-year-old daughter of this woman came into the police station and ignored them, looked at the mother so disdainfully and ignored. We were shocked. We were shocked. In fact, we had come hoping that we could restore access immediately. But when we witnessed what happened, we told them, no, we don't want to reunite them automatically. We would have to go through a process of reorientation to get these children to understand that their mother is not a witch, that their mother was not trying to kill their father, that their mother was not a prostitute. This woman was forced out of the house when their first child was 11 years old. They had 4 children. The first child was 11 years old, and the 4th child was then about 6 years old. That was when the woman left. Now, 5 years after, the child is now 16. The girl is now 16. So the girl came to the police station and they asked her, what do you think about your mom? She said, our mom is a prostitute. She abandoned us. She left us. She's a witch. I was shocked. So the police, they asked her, the child department, juvenile department of police asked her, how do you know your mom was a prostitute? She said, because she was sleeping with men. So, but the thing is, the little girl had no such experience. She was too young when the mother left. So all she knew about the mother was what the father told her. But the father had repeated these lies so many times that she had accepted the lie as if it was the truth. So now, seeing that condition, that level of alienation, we could not say, all right, go with your mom. Indeed, it was difficult to get her to even greet her mom, because you cannot undo in a moment what took years to do. So when somebody jumps in and says, I will help Obasi, I will help him get access, I'm a human rights fighter, I laugh, because they don't understand the complexity of it. You have to do it in a way that helps the children and help Obasi. Because we knew, like in that Asaba case we were working, we knew that if we gave the children of that woman to her immediately that night, they will run away. They will run away from her. They will run away, and when they run away, we wouldn't know where they will run to. They'll get into harm. So for the sake of the children, we had to put them through a gradual process of orientation. So what did we do? We begin to request for the mother to meet them in a group setting with the father nearby. Okay, because the children had been brought up to think that their father was their savior. That without their father, their mother would kill them because their mother abandoned them. They didn't know why their mother left. They didn't know that their mother was forced out of the house by their father. All they heard was that she abandoned them. So we had to create this process. So the woman had to go to eateries, meet with the children, start talking on the phone, start texting. Then we get to a point where she can now spend 4 hours with them without any other person around. Then we got to a point where they will begin to communicate, so that these children will begin to say, wait a minute, they said mommy is a witch, but she's nice. Or they said mommy is bad, but mommy is not true. So the children will gradually return to a point of normalcy. So when you hear people after a 10-year alienation and you come out and say, I will help Obasi, I will help Obasi, giving his children. That is social media help. That's social media hype. If you're a true professional, you will understand that these children have been significantly alienated. Okay? There has been significant, successful alienation. What we call alienation again? Breaking the bond between father and child. When it has been successful, when alienation has been successful, the goal of the court is not automatically to end alienation. Alienation is a psychological state, it's not a physical thing. If you put them together in the same place, suddenly the alienation will still exist. It may even worsen. So, if we're going to get into Obasi's case, we're going to come in like true professionals, experienced in this sort of thing. We're going to create series of programs of reorientation and restoration of bonding. It is when it gets to a successful point, a comfortable point, that we can now withdraw and let nature take its course. So that case is going to be complex. And something else many people don't know, which I will now enlighten you on, is this. Obasi and Judy did not have statutory marriage. They did not marry under the Act. So all the protections embodied in the procedure under the Matrimonial Causes Act will not apply to them. There is a law in Nigeria called Matrimonial Causes Act. That is the procedural law to follow in issues of divorce, custody, and all these things, child support, access to children. But the problem with the Matrimonial Causes Act is that it is applicable only to marriages under the Marriage Act. Many states, in some states in Nigeria, have tried to develop their own body of family law and family law procedure. For instance, in Lagos State, when you come to Lagos State, you can address family law issues outside the Matrimonial Causes Act. Indeed, in Lagos State, you have an option. You follow Matrimonial Causes Act, or you just follow the family law of Lagos State. And if you are going by way of family law of Lagos State, it doesn't require that the marriage be under Marriage Act. In fact, the family law of Lagos State doesn't even require that the parents be married. And that's why, if you look at development in other countries, they don't call family law. They call it domestic relations law. Why is it that in America, you don't talk of family law, you talk of domestic relations law? I will explain to you why. It's actually a mark of development in the United States legal system. If you say family, if you must think of family when dealing with issues of custody and access, then it means that the couple must be married. The couple must be married for the notion of family to kick in. But if you use the term domestic relations, it will cover all intimate relationship between husband and a man and woman and their children. So if a man and his girlfriend have a child, under Nigerian law, you cannot handle it under family law because there was no marriage. But if you change it and make that law domestic relations law, then that law says we don't really care whether your parents are married. They are parents and they are united by having a child. So we must treat them as a bundle for that purpose. For instance, let me again explain to you so you can understand. Under the law, I'm not allowed to throw my wife out of the house, even if I built the house before she was born. Even if I built the house before I married her. The fact that it is her matrimonial home, I'm not allowed to throw her out. Only the court can determine. Because the court can actually order me and say, hey, we know it's your house, but she should use that house for the sake of the children. The court will say, hey, we don't care who owns the house. We just want to know who gets custody. If the woman gets custody, then you got to give her the house for the sake of the children until the children are grown up. Because the court doesn't want to scatter the children or force them out of an environment they're used to. So, but for us to do that, we have to be thinking of it in terms of domestic relations law. Otherwise, if we think of it under family law, then as it is in Nigeria today, I am not allowed to throw my wife out of their matrimonial home, even if I have married her only for 2 weeks. Even if we married last week, I can't throw her out of the house because she's a wife. However, if I have a girlfriend living with me, and she has even 10 children, I can throw her out because she's not a wife. She's only a girlfriend. So now, in developed countries, they're saying it doesn't really make a difference. So it doesn't make a difference whether you married her or not. You are living together, having children together, like husband and wife. The law is going to treat this thing as a domestic relations. We're applying all the protections that would normally go to a family. So, please, these cases, some of the cases you see on social media, you see people, maybe they didn't mean anything bad, but a lot of the time, people are rushing to be noted, to be praised, to be called human rights fighters. If you don't understand the problem and you jump in to solve the problem, you will complicate it. It is like somebody who is not a medical doctor jumping in to conduct surgery in order to help a sick patient. The intention is good. You want to save a person. But if you're not a doctor and a surgeon, you can't conduct surgery. It's risky. You may kill the person you want to help. So you must look out for many people in a rush to help Obasi. They must understand what it is. As I said, DPA is considering that matter. Our assistance has been requested. But we don't jump into things. And by the way, assistance is a broad range of things. When we assist a person, we assist people in different ways. Sometimes we can fund you. Sometimes we can refer you to lawyers. Sometimes we can appoint lawyers for you. So when you hear the word assistance from DPA, when we say we're interested in your case, it doesn't specifically say what we're going to do to help you, but we will help you. And we will help Obasi, definitely. But how we do it, what we do, our role is still subject to evaluation, okay? I will be meeting with Mr. Obasi very soon, and we will have discussions. And then I will determine the level of involvement, given our already existing involvement. There is a pre-existing case. When we take a new case, we always ask ourselves, how will this new case affect the other cases we are handling? How does it affect our responsibilities, what we call pre-existing obligations? If a particular case is going to have a negative impact on a case we already have, then we perceive a conflict of interest. And if there is a conflict of interest, we have a number of things to do. We either withdraw or we screen our officials to make sure that those who are affected in the pre-existing case will be different from the team to get involved in the new case. So that is it. I understand. Something else I want to say to those of you who are listening is this. I know that you feel very passionate about this Judy Austin's case. I see a lot of emotions and feelings of anger and resentment. That's understandable. But you have to know that DPA are professionals. DPA staff are professionals. We don't have these emotions. We don't share your emotions. Indeed, we shouldn't share these emotions. We are focused on the issues. We understand human nature. Human beings are cunning, manipulative, and devious, aggressive, and all those things, and greedy and envious. We know that. So when a human being has acted in such negative manner, we don't get carried away. We don't condemn the person. We know the person is just being natural. The person is going to just be an ordinary human being. So we handle these things, without the emotions. So if we get involved in Obasi's case, we are not going to come in from the point of view of anger towards anybody. No. We are more interested in the fate of the children of Obasi. What happened to those children? Their well-being. How are they faring? When we spoke with Obasi doesn't even know whether his children are still bearing his name or whether Judy has changed their name to something else. Yes, Judy might have dropped Obasi's name so that the children may now be answering Mogalu. So we don't know this. He doesn't know this. These are things we're going to find out if we get involved in the case. So it is going to be a tough, interesting case, and there are many lessons to learn from it. I hope our members will be paying attention, and you must understand, we are not emotional. We don't hate Judy. We don't dislike Judy. She tried what many women in this world will do in Africa. Many women, even those of you that are judging her, will do the same thing. You will covet another person's husband. You will covet another person's wife. It is natural. So, thank God we don't view. I will never get involved in a case based on hate, sentiment of hate. No, God forbid, because that means I won't be able to do my work well. I look at people dispassionately. I'm interested in fairness and justice and level playing field for all. But beyond that, I'm not interested in somebody suffering humiliation or embarrassment or no. We don't do that. It's not necessary at all. We don't get consumed by such emotions. And I say to you, please don't feel that way. What you should focus on is, let there be justice. You have a man who has children he has no access to. We don't want that to remain the case. And you have children who have no access to their father. We don't want that to remain because it affects their development. And then, especially, when the reason they don't have access is not that their father died, but because somebody told them their father is an evil man. That's what we want to correct. And when we correct that, we wish them well. We even see a possibility of them understanding, maybe Judy understanding that no, Obasi ought to be a part of these children's lives. And she comes around to compensate for the years lost. Okay, so that is it on one side. One more thing I will say to those of you listening today is this. As I examine these cases, case after case, of divorce, family law problems, and other problems, because many people don't realize that DPA handles a whole lot of the man that just left now had a land problem, communal dispute problem. He and his lawyer came to see me, and I gave them suggestions. So it's not only family law cases that DPA is involved in. DPA wants justice. DPA wants a society where people are not feeling aggrieved, unfairly treated, or frustrated, or intimidated. That's what we want. And regardless of the nature of the case, if there is elements of intimidation, harassment, and injustice, DPA will step in. DPA is a private sector version of the Ministry of Justice. That's what we are. We are doing the work of Ministry of Justice without being part of government. We are the private sector equivalent of the Ministry of Justice. So people with problems come to us. And in fact, I will tell you that what gave rise to DPA, what made DPA necessary, is the failure of the formal sector Ministry of Justice. If Ministry of Justice were working, can you imagine if you lived in a country where you go to the police, they will listen to you, they will follow up timely and do justice without taking bribe from anybody? If you live in such a country, you don't need DPA. Or rather, DPA will be doing a different thing, because what we do in the United States is totally different from what we do in Nigeria. Because the kind of problems of justice and injustice in the United States are different from the problems, the same problems in Nigeria. So DPA is here to fill a gap. So from these discussions I hold, I come to certain conclusions and certain ideas that I feel like sharing with you. One such thing I want to share with you is this. Whether you agree or not, whether you understand it or not, the moment you get married, there will begin what we call power game between you and your husband. Your husband could be the saint, he could be the gentle soul. He begins to deal with the fact that two of you are occupying the same sphere, and two of you are competing for space and influence within that sphere. Whether you like it or not. I have told you, not to be too sentimental, that even baby and mama, baby and its mama are in conflict sometimes. Why do you think that the children cry when mommy is leaving the house? It's not because she's hungry. It's not because the child is hungry. It's not because the child is sick. The child wants to control the behavior of the mom. The child is crying to stop the mom from leaving. Why? After all, mommy will go and come back, but the child doesn't want mommy even 5 minutes out of his sight. She begins to cry. Why do you think the child is crying? The child wants to control mommy's activities, mommy's movement. Now, let me ask you something. Why do you buy pacifier? You know this pacifier you put in the mouth of the children that are sucking it? Why do you think the mothers are doing it? The mother is trying to control the child's behavior. So there is conflict. Conflict is a state of nature. So if mommy and baby can be competing and conflicting, who told you that you and your husband will not conflict, even if he's the best man on earth, or even if you're the best woman on earth? Therefore, when you get into a marriage, you should realize that inevitably there will be this conflict. And this conflict could take ugly dimensions sometimes. It may get out of hand, out of control. Therefore, you should start from day one preparing for a conflict getting out of hand. How do you do that? You begin to save for divorce. The problem with the women we meet, when they come in, they complain about their husband. I say, man, the problem is not your husband. The problem is because you did not prepare for this day. You did not prepare yourself. She said, how did I not prepare? You don't have money even to file the court paper, to file paper in court. You can't. So that means you did not prepare for this. But your husband, if you look at it, your husband prepared for this from day one. When your husband bought land and put his name alone, what do you think he was doing? When your husband was buying land and he puts his name alone, what do you think your husband was doing, man? I ask you. Your husband is preparing to win if you sue. He's preparing for divorce. He's trying to win the divorce case. And he started from day one. Okay, another thing. Now, let me tell you something you gotta understand, because I laugh at the level of ignorance most of you display. Your husband, your sweet, nice, loving husband, he buys land. He puts his mother's name on it. He puts his brother's name on it. What do you think your husband is doing? Why do you think he's put his mother's name on the land? It is a weapon fashioned against you. That thing he did is a weapon fashioned against you. Now, your husband buys land. He says, hey, let's put our children's name there. Why is he putting you and his children's name there? Are you not there? Two of you will not die the same day. Even if you die, your children will inherit. Your children will inherit your property. You don't have to put your child's name on your piece of land. Why? It is a weapon fashioned against you in case you claim this land during divorce. Why is it that when your husband buys a car, even a car he bought for you, he puts it in his name? He's preparing for divorce in case. It doesn't mean he wants divorce, but he asks himself, this is how your husband is thinking. Well, God, I don't want divorce, but in case it happens, I protect myself. That's what the man says. The man says in his prayer, you need to put yourself in the man's mindset. He says, oh God, hey, God, I don't want divorce, I want to be married to my wife for the rest of my life. I don't want divorce. But in case it happens, in case of incasity, if it happens, what do I do? He prepares himself. Now look at what the woman does. What most of you women do. Women will say, God, I don't want divorce. I banish it in the name of Jesus. It's not my portion. There will be no divorce. The woman will wish it away. So she's unprepared for divorce. Madam, how are you? I'm in a meeting. I'm going to round off quickly and I'll get back to you shortly. Thank you, ma'am. So, okay, now let me ask you a question. You guys must also not think about. When you marry many Igbo men, they say, we don't want court marriage, we don't want registry marriage. Why? What do you think he's doing? What do you think he's doing? He's preparing for possible divorce. He doesn't want you to have rights in court in a divorce. Okay, now you marry a man and he says to you, I don't want my wife to walk. My wife cannot walk. I have enough money. My wife, why do you think your husband doesn't want you to walk? Do you think it's because he wants you to rest? No. He doesn't want you to be empowered. Because if you're empowered, you will resist his grab for influence. In that natural competition for influence, if you have no money, you are powerless. The less power you have, the weaker you are in that conflict. It's natural. So when your husband says he doesn't want you to walk, don't be stupid. Don't be damn bloody stupid. Because the work you're doing at home is even more than the work he said he doesn't want you to work. He just doesn't want you to have money to resist his influence. That is it. And look at what the men do. They even go further to make the woman weak. So the woman is working. Then suddenly the man says, hey, okay, let's use your own money to feed the house, run the house. I'll use my own money to be buying properties. He's buying properties and putting his name on the properties, and you're collecting your salary and buying food with your salary. Guess what? You are poor and weak. The day the storm will come, and you go to hire a lawyer, and the lawyer says, ma'am, we need 2 million to start. You don't have 2 million. Why don't you have 2 million? Because you've been buying beans and rice with your salary. So, these men are tactical. So, they did it to one woman. The man suddenly stopped He knew that the woman had a side business. The woman had her business. The man stopped bringing money for feeding. He would tell the wife, come on. How can't you find 50,000? So the woman began to use her business money to buy food until she started touching her capital to buy food, to run the home. It continued. Then the man did what he wanted. He went and brought in a side chick that had a child for him that the woman didn't know. The woman wanted to protest. The man drove her out of the house. Now the woman went to a lawyer. No lawyer can take her case because she has no money. So you see, the man had won the war before it started by making sure that you were disarmed. Can you imagine in a conflict, the person you are fighting a war with comes and takes your gun away, your gun away and leaves you with broom and bucket as your weapon. Then he returns to his own side and brings you his AK-47. He has AK-47, machine gun, and you have broom and bucket. How can you fight? You should just surrender and do whatever they tell you. If he wants to bring in his girlfriend as third wife or fourth wife, you have to just shut up because you can't resist. That is the game. So those of you women, you marry and you always pray whenever divorce crosses your mind. Say, I banish it in the name of Jesus. God forbid. Banish. Divorce is not my portion. Divorce is a sin. I will never want divorce. Oh God, Jesus. No, divorce. That's how the woman thinks. She'll be saying no divorce until the husband will serve her papers. One woman came to us. He said, after they served her paper, she brought her paper and said, I get divorce. I will not be part of it. I will not say it. I said, madam, please sit down. If you are not part of it, the court will just grant divorce in your absence. You can't stop it. She said, you mean he will divorce me without? I said, he will surely divorce you. And he planned it long time ago. He took 10 years to plan it. For you, you didn't plan it. Now you can't even rent a house for your apartment for yourself. Everything in his name. The 2 cars you have, all in his name. Nothing in your name. You didn't understand that when your husband buys a car for you and puts his name there, he's gaslighting you. He's playing with your intelligence. What is wrong if your name is on the car title? Are you not a human being? Why didn't he buy the land in the name of the family, him and his wife? He bought it in his name and then added his mother's name. So that if you sue him when they get to court, they say, what are the properties? He will say, it's my mother's property. And you go empty-handed. When they chase you out, his mother will give him all his property. So please, women, if you don't protect yourself, nobody can protect you.
Wow.
There are some people, when I listen to their cases, I'll say, ma'am, your husband is not your problem. You are your own problem.
That this thing happened to?
Because your belief system, your pattern of thinking
in America
will tell me who is the problem. If you have no confidence, if you don't believe you're a human being, if you don't believe you have rights, if you don't believe you have right, who will give you right? Is it me that will give you a right that you already rejected? No. So I look at these women, I feel sorry. I say, ma'am, I'm sorry. The problem is not your husband. Maybe he's part of the problem, but the problem is you. You have told me all he did. He did this, he did this. I want to hear what you did. What did you do? When he did this A, what did you do? When he did B, what did you do? If you have been condoning it and allowing it, it will only get worse. So when a woman has prepared for, the funny thing, when a man is well prepared for divorce, he's very aggressive and very powerful. He intimidates his wife. The wife cannot say a word because he prepared for divorce. Like a case we have in Imo State now. The man went for the marriage this thing. He didn't go. He gave excuses. He avoided signing the document. He knew. So now when he fought with his wife, he said, well, by the way, you're not getting anything though. I want you to know. You know that time, I remember I didn't sign anything. So we didn't marry under the act. In other words, he was planning. He was planning for this day from the beginning. But you were not planning because you were banishing divorce. Because she's not in your portion in Jesus' name, right? He was preparing for it. So when a person is prepared for war, the person wants war. That's why we say that whenever a person is too powerful, he loves war. When your husband knows that he can do anything to you and you wouldn't do anything, he wants war. But when your husband knows that when he fires 2 bullets, you will fire 1, the fear of that 1 bullet from you will control him. People, there's what we call stalemate, mutual assured destruction. When 2 of you can hurt each other, he doesn't want war. Nobody wants war. There's a balance of forces. When there is a balance of forces, people don't want war. Your husband cannot abuse you if you are balanced in capacity to fight. But if you're a weakling, you have nothing, your weapon is just broom and bucket, your husband wants war every day. Indeed, when he wakes up, he will touch his gun and say, why are we not shooting now? Why are we not shooting this gun? This gun is beautiful. Let me test it. Pa, 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 pa. He tests it. He puts it there. He has a gun. You have nothing but broom and bucket. So, but assuming you have your own gun, he will not want war. He wants peace. Because there is consequence to him when he fights. So, I tell you women, don't be naive. Understand human nature. Prepare yourself. In many countries, the weapon the woman has is the law. In the United States, in Europe, the woman's own weapon is the law. So if you beat your wife in America, they will arrest you. Indeed, if you threaten your wife in America, they will arrest you. So because of that, men are nice. Nice, very nice, because nobody wants to be arrested. All this nonsense we hear in Nigeria, pack your bag and leave my house. It will never happen in America. The woman's got a weapon, and that's the law. In Nigeria, the law does not provide the woman protection. And when the law does not provide you protection, you have to protect yourself. That is why you see these communities, they have vigilante group. Because the police will not protect them. They have to protect themselves. In Nigeria, the law does not protect the woman adequately. So the way you make sure you protect yourself, at least save some money. When he knows, in fact, you see, if you have weapon, and he tries aggression the first time, and you just show your weapon, don't fire back, reveal it. You know the way you lift your jacket, so your opponent sees that you are armed, you close it again. It's called show of force. Show of force. Do you understand it? That's how life works. Can you imagine somebody is trying to harass you, thinking you are disarmed, you are not armed, and you do like this, and he sees your gun, you put it again and button your suit. You didn't say a word. You didn't threaten him. You didn't argue with him. You just showed him your capacity to defend, to counterattack. If you do that, the person will say, we are brothers. I love peace. Yeah, peace, peaceful existence. We love all. You see, people preach love when they know that the other side can fight. When they see you are weak and useless, they don't remember love anymore. So that is it. This is practical experience for those of you listening. Women, you are there. Your husband is preparing for divorce, powering himself, equipping himself, and he's taking away your weapon. He's disarming you, arming himself and disarming you. He takes away your gun, he gives you broom. He takes away your bomb, he gives you buckets of water. That's what you have. And you think he will do anything he likes. And even me as I am, if I'm stupid enough to marry a woman that has absolutely no power, I can't even control myself. as educated and as principled as I am, if I choose now to go and marry these powerless, unemployed women, then I will become Oga. I will do anything I like. Oh. It is, let me tell you something. You have to understand human nature now. Let me tell you something that I understand. I have seen the world.
Wow.
I have been with different kind of people. I have dated Nigerian women. I have dated white women. I have dated Europeans. I have dated very highly educated women, professors. I have dated ordinary people. Do you know that my attitude is different? Yeah, who is there? You come later, please. Okay, you can. No problem. Go home. Yeah. So, now, let me tell you this. Let me tell you the human basic nature. If I am with a Nigerian girl, she doesn't have money, she doesn't have education. If we finish eating, if she takes the plate to the sink, I will allow it, no big deal. That's what they do in this part of the world. If I'm eating with a white woman and we finish eating, if you see the speed with which I will rush to go to the sink to go and wash my plate, why? Why is that? It's natural. I can't eat with a white girl and then you put your hand and she'll carry the plate and go. Are you crazy? First, I will rush and pick her own plate because she will not accept it. She will not allow it. But if I eat with you, Nigerian woman, and you are powerless, you are not powerful, you are not. When I finish, I'll cross my finger and begin to do like this. Natural human tendency. Does it mean I'm not a nice person? I'm a nice person. I love her, but not to the point of washing dishes for her. She's great. Oh, fantastic. You can understand. So, if you choose to be weak, people will take advantage. Right from the time we were children, that is human nature. That's human nature. In primary school, if you see a weak child, they snatch his lunch. The others will take his lunch and eat. If you're a weak child in school, so somebody else will eat the lunch your mom gave you. But if the child says, no, don't touch my lunch, don't touch my lunch, nobody will eat her lunch. So it is things. So you gotta understand, you come to me, DPA, help me. I look at the history of surrender. I see that you have been taking nonsense from this man. I see that you encouraged him. You allowed it. You gave him the impression that what he was doing was good. That you could take nonsense, you could take the bullshit, and he gives you bullshit, mountains of bullshit, and you come to DPA for me to clear the bullshit. I look at you and I smile. I will say, ma'am, is he beating you? No. Okay. If he's beating you, call us. Let's stop that. I'm not going to get into this emotional thing. Oh, he's not romantic. He's not nice. He's shouting at you. He's cheating on you. You allowed it. Man, do you have a job? No job. Do you have savings? Nothing. Then I ask the woman, what about you? Because when I say prepare for divorce, people don't understand what I meant. I'm not saying that you should go and look for work. To tell you the truth, those who prepare for divorce don't have divorce as much as those who did not prepare for divorce. Those who banish the divorce will get divorced faster than those who prepared for it. You know how it happens? If you are prepared for divorce, you will not tolerate nonsense. The first time he tried to beat you, you do things that will show him that, hey, this is a bad idea, man. Don't try this. But because you are ready. But if you are not ready, when he slaps you, you turn the other cheek. Then he said, I can as well punch her. So by the time you begin to resist, it is too late. He has become used to violence. He has become used to knocking off your teeth. Indeed, if you did not resist, he slapped you, you didn't do anything. He slapped you, you didn't do anything. He kicked you, you didn't do anything. He punched you, you didn't do anything. The day you now try to resist, he will get angry. How dare you? How dare you? I slapped you and you're getting angry. How dare you? Because you have been taking it before. So I said to women, please prepare. There are many ways to prepare. I told you now about saving money, having your own employment. But I also tell these women, what about your social network? Do you have social support system? Women come here, I don't have money to file. I ask them, don't you have parents? Don't you have friends? Don't you have people you can... You must have build your social network. Have viable friends who can help you. There are many ways to prepare for divorce. So it's not for you. Okay, you can't save money. You can't, but you have critical people you can call upon. But you don't have it. If you come and register with DPA so that we can call him, you can't register until he starts slapping you. When he starts slapping you, then you came to us. We could have intervened when he was threatening you. The only reason you didn't come to us when he was threatening you was because you did not register in DPA. And because you don't register in DPA, you allow the threat, allow this graduated to punch him. Then you come to DPA. When you come, we look at you. And you think we're going to focus on his behavior. Yes, we're interested in what he's doing to you, but we want to hear what you did or what you did not do. Because by your silence, your inaction, you invited the calamity on yourself. I pity many women. And that is why, sometimes I know that if I call your husband and rebuke him, he will stop. But I know he will continue tomorrow. What is the point me intervening? First, I will rush and pick her own plate. Because she will not accept it. She will not allow it. But if I eat with you, Nigerian woman, and you are powerless, you are not powerful, you are not... When I finish, I'll cross my finger and begin to do like this. Natural human tendency. Does it mean I'm not a nice person? I'm a nice person. I love her, but not to the point of washing dishes for her. She's great. Oh, fantastic. You can understand. So, if you choose to be weak, people will take advantage. Right from the time we were children, that is human nature. That's human nature. In primary school, if you see a weak child, they snatch his lunch. The others will take his lunch and eat. If you're a weak child in school, so somebody else will eat the lunch your mom gave you. But if the child says, no, don't touch my lunch, don't touch my lunch, nobody will eat her lunch. So it is things. So you gotta understand, you come to me, DPA, help me. I look at the history of surrender. I see that you have been taking nonsense from this man. I see that you encouraged him. You allowed it. You gave him the impression that what he was doing was good. That you could take nonsense, you could take the bullshit, and he gives you bullshit, mountains of bullshit, and you come to DPA for me to clear the bullshit. I look at you and I smile. I will say, ma'am, is he beating you? No. Okay. If he's beating you, call us. Let's stop that. I'm not going to get into this emotional thing. Oh, he's not romantic, he's not nice, he's shouting at you, he's cheating on you. You allowed it. Ma'am, do you have a job? No job. Do you have savings? Nothing. Then I ask the women, what about your... Because when I say prepare for divorce, people don't understand what I meant. I'm not saying that you should go and look for work. To tell you the truth, those who prepare for divorce don't have divorce as much as those who did not prepare for divorce.
Yeah, they don't even get divorce.
Those who banish the divorce will get divorced faster. those who prepared for it. You know how it happens. If you are prepared for divorce, you will not tolerate nonsense. The first time he tried to beat you, you do things that will show him that, hey, this is a bad idea, man. Don't try this. But because you are ready. But if you are not ready, when he slaps you, you turn the other cheek. Then he says, I can as well punch her. So by the time you begin to resist, it is too late. He has become used to violence. He has become used to knocking off your teeth. Indeed, if you did not resist, he slapped you, you didn't do anything. He slapped you, you didn't do anything. He kicked you, you didn't do anything. He punched you, you didn't do anything. The day you now try to resist, he will get angry. How dare you? How dare you? I slapped you and you are getting angry. How dare you? Because you have been taking it before. So I say to women, please prepare. There are many ways to prepare. I told you now about saving money, having your own employment. But I also tell these women, what about your social network? Do you have social support system? Women come here, I don't have money to file. I ask them, don't you have parents? Don't you have friends? Don't you have people you can... You must have build your social network.
Yeah.
Have viable friends who can help you. There are many ways to prepare for divorce. So it's not for you. Okay, you can't save money, but you have critical people you can call upon. But you don't have it. If you come and register with DPA so that we can call him, you can't register until he starts slapping you. When he starts slapping you, then you came to us. We could have intervened when he was threatening you. The only reason you didn't come to us when he was threatening you was because you did not register in DPA. And because you did not register in DPA, you allow the threat, allow this graduated to punch him. Then you come to DPA. When you come, we look at you. And you think we're going to focus on his behavior. Yes, we're interested in what he's doing to you, but we want to hear what you did or what you did not do. Because by your silence, your inaction, you invited the calamity on yourself. I pity many women. And that is why, sometimes I know that if I call your husband and rebuke him, he will stop. But I know he will continue tomorrow. What is the point me intervening and tomorrow? Because I can't afford, because some people, you know the funny thing members do. Your husband threatens you today, you call us, we stop him. Next week or next month, he threatens you, call us, we stop him. Then again, if you call us the third time, we say no. Because you are now using us to run your family now. We can't manage your family. We can't manage your marriage. Intervention is not a takeover. The fact that we intervened in your case doesn't mean we have taken over your family. We don't want to be the one you call. Where are the staff? How do we pay their salaries? We can't be coming to your house every day. Twice. If I intervene twice, the third time, you better be filing divorce. I can't come and teach your husband how to love you. I can't come and say, okay, now, don't fight, stop. Okay, if you fight, we put you in trouble, don't fight. And, okay, no fight. The next month, don't fight, come on. It doesn't work that way. I will intervene only twice. I will tell you, if you come after 2 times, you have to pay money and you have to go to court. You got to show me. I don't want to create the impression. I don't want to sustain you in a bad marriage. It is like every day you eat poison, I give you antidote to cure your poison. You go back and eat the same poison, I give you antidote. I don't have enough antidotes to give you. The first time was a mistake. The second time was negligence. The third time was deliberate. You deliberately put yourself in this trouble and you're on your own. I hope you get it, ladies. Please, all of you women listening to me today, build your own, we call it balance of forces. Create a balance of forces so that you can protect yourself. Don't start trouble but protect yourself. Be respectful, love your husband, do your work, be peaceful, but protect yourself. If you are attacked, be capable of fighting back. That's why if a woman has money, you don't mess with her. Because when she comes here, I will give her an army of lawyers. When your husband sees the kind of lawyers you put together, even his parents will begin to beg for peace. If you have money and you come here and your husband is harassing you, I will put a team of lawyers. I will take all kind of measures. The same husband will beg for peace. Okay? That is what I call you show him that you're armed. Just sure of force. Then he will remember that peace and love exist. Okay? Ladies and gentlemen, I'm sorry I spoke so passionately. I raised my voice, I shouted. I'm not angry with you. But honestly, I speak to many of you like a father speaking to his daughter that doesn't want to listen. You know how daddy gets upset. All the time, daddy is warning you and you're doing this. One day, daddy will get so mad and shout at him. It's not that he doesn't love you, but he's exasperated. He's frustrated by your refusal to listen. So, for those of you coming tomorrow, my husband did this, you better tell me what you did. When he slapped you, what did you do? When he slapped you last year, what did you do? When he brought his girlfriend, what did you do? When he brought a child out of wedlock, what did you do? Nothing? You did nothing? Then why are you here today? Well, it is the point that he's bringing the mother of the child into the house as... All right, thank you so much. Have a wonderful day. I'm going to go for my next meeting. And if you are scheduled to meet with me on my trip to the...
Now people, now don't hear them. Women, be wise. That's all I can say. Be wise. Please share this video. Thank you. God bless you.